gives me the greatest of pleasure to declare this celebration ceremony open.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see so many of you here. As the Deputy Head of the College of Arts and Law, I'm delighted to welcome all of you gathered here today as we reunite the class of 2020 in celebration of their achievements during their time at Birmingham and since. This is not, of course, a normal degree ceremony, and it is not taking place at the normal time of year. But then, of course, these have not been normal times. You will all have your own memories of how you felt in the spring and summer of 2020 as our campus moved almost entirely online. It was not, surely, the conclusion to your degrees that you had wanted, and it certainly wasn't the conclusion to your degrees that we had wanted for you. But in some very challenging circumstances, unprecedented circumstances, you showed remarkable resilience, ingenuity, tenacity, precisely the kinds of qualities that we seek to nurture in our students. So, well done you, and well done us, I suppose. Precisely the kind of qualities that will serve you really well in years to come. You adapted, you persevered, you had to in order to graduate, and you graduated with our esteem. Whether you completed an undergraduate or a postgraduate or a research degree, I hope you'll be able to look back with fondness on your years at Birmingham. We're proud of your achievements, and you should be proud of them too. Now, graduations are a defining moment in the university's calendar, and your graduation is, perhaps more importantly, a defining moment in your lives. It's a moment that we as a university thought that we couldn't simply let pass without the recognition that it deserves. We did celebrate your graduation virtually in the summer of 2020, but always remained committed to bringing you back to campus for a more tangible and face-to-face graduation experience. So we're one of a handful of universities that are holding graduation celebrations on campus for their 2020 graduates. And the events we're hosting today demonstrate the value we place on you and on your achievements. So we hope very much that you'll enjoy this opportunity to see each other again, to share the afternoon with friends and family, to put on your robes, your fancy hat, and reflect on your achievements during your degree and since last summer. Now, during the pandemic, the university community changed substantially, but it did play its part in response to the crisis. This is perhaps scant consolation in some ways, given the disruption it caused to all of your lives. But some good things happened as well. Some of the researchers here developed new tests to detect COVID, new interventions for those suffering from it. Some contributed to the understanding of the disease so we might better deal with it. But many of you as well, students, supported vulnerable members of the community in Selly Oak and in your communities further afield. Some of you distributed food and medicine to people in need, volunteered in hospitals, helped neighbors. The student response to the pandemic that you began in 2020 is continued, and we are grateful, indeed proud, of the way in which our students have supported their communities and supported each other. You have, though you may not recognize it now, you have done pretty extraordinary things in recent times, and we're here to celebrate your achievements. You came to the University of Birmingham because you wanted to come to a place of learning. You wanted to test yourself, equip yourselves for the next phase of your life. So you stand here today having overcome a lot of barriers and having already begun the first steps in what we hope will be really rich, fulfilling lives and careers after your studies here. Now, these degree celebrations in the so-called green heart of campus this year are a first for the university, but they're not the first for the university. You might be interested to know, not many people do, but you might be interested to know that you're graduating from the first campus university in the country. Also the first to incorporate a medical school, the first to allow women to take medical degrees or to create a women's hall of residence, and more recently, the first to open a secondary school. But more importantly for us here, perhaps today represents a first for you So, in this sense, let me particularly congratulate those of you who were the first in your families to graduate. Others of you will have been the first in your family to study in this country, or maybe the first to achieve a postgraduate qualification. Some of you may even be the first to make a particular discovery in your field of doctoral research. You were all, every one of you, among the first to graduate through a global pandemic, and that's saying something. You're also among the first to take your next steps into employment or further study as that pandemic continued to afflict the world. In the process, each of you have overcome challenges that few others have faced before. All of you then will have your own unique personal story of what it took for you to complete your degree, of all the challenges that you faced. Each of you here can feel extraordinarily proud of what you accomplished. And the same applies, I think, to all the others who are here with us today. Parents, grandparents, guardians, mentors. As a parent myself, a father of a 2020 graduate, not of this university, he would never have come here, of course. I mean, because I work here, right. But as someone with firsthand experience of bringing up kids, traveling lots of Saturdays to open days, seeing them off to university, and then seeing them finish, also, of course, experience of precipitously driving off and moving them back home at the last minute right before the lockdown. Perhaps some of you have done the same. As someone, one of you, as it were, I'd particularly also like to thank you for the crucial part you've played here. None of this would be happening without you. But for most of you dressed in your robes today, last summer will have marked the end of one kind of relationship with the university and the start of a new one. You've now already spent more than a year as Birmingham alumni, joining around 300,000 members in more than 170 countries around the world. Our alumni engage in a dizzying array of different professions and projects, and we look forward to witnessing your own professional achievements, your successes, being added to the list in the years to come. So you and those who are with you have many reasons to be proud today. We share in that pride. And on that note, I'd like to hand over to Mikey Brown, Guild President, to continue with the event. So thanks very much.
Firstly, let me say an enormous congratulations to everyone here today. Our esteemed guests, let's hear it for the class of 2020. Hands together. It's a great pleasure on this slightly dreary and chilly day to wish you all a very warm welcome back to Brum. It's also my pleasure, and I think probably my contractual obligation, to remind you that when you come back and visit us at Joe's Bar, there'll be a very warm welcome for you there as well, no matter what the weather's doing outside. I feel I must also apologise, before I go on, that you've had to see our beloved old Joe without his hands, and that we couldn't get him to bong just once for old time's sake. But I'm assured by the university he's getting a bit of a spruce up, and when you come back next time, he'll be in rude health once again. And as Guild President, I will very much assure that I'm holding the university to account on that one at least. This is, I think, a very special day, a day where we can be together again after so long apart. And for me, that's the most special part of being here. For as much as we all love old Joe and our physical surroundings here, for me, the University of Birmingham is much more than a collection of buildings, however new and shiny or old and revered that they are. It's a community of people, from those very fresh, new faces that you first saw in Freshers' Week, to your dissertation or thesis supervisor trying to get you over the line as you toiled through those thousands of words in your final projects, to the catering staff who provided those Gomex burritos or Joe's curly fries to power you through. Birmingham is a community. So wherever you've got to today, be it a first-class degree, a defended thesis, further study, or you've gone on to do voluntary work or start a burgeoning career, you owe it, of course, to your own sacrifices, hard work, talent, determination, of course, but also to those people who have supported you along the way. Your parents, families, and carers here today, we owe them, I think, a big round of applause. And when I say Birmingham's a community, you'll be part of that University of Birmingham community forever. All too often in my life, I've moved on to new things and I've lost touch with important people from my past, and I've regretted it. So keep in touch, and when success comes, and I know for a fact it will for each and every one of you, share it with us. Remember where you've come from, and remember it was here. Whatever that success looks like, it could be starting a family, running a business, writing a book, or even bumbling your way into number 10 Downing Street like our present Prime Minister. I urge you to be kind to people along the way. For I wager those people you remember most profoundly about your time at Birmingham will have been the most kind amongst us, the kindest to you. So I would challenge you to aspire to be memorable, if for anything, for your kindness to others. I said a moment ago that I know success will come to everyone here today. And I meant it. I'm absolutely not worried about this fantastic cohort of graduates before me succeeding enough. On the contrary, I'm worried about you not failing enough. Now, I can see the red brick headline now, new guild president, which is failure on class of 2020. But hear me out. What I mean is that only through trying new things, new experiences, and coming up short do we really grow as people and learn. Someone wise once wrote, some white old guy, I don't remember his name, a ship in harbour is safe, but that is not what ships are for. Now, in my time, occasionally I've settled for mediocrity, for fear of that failure, and limited my potential as a result. I've kept my boat safely moored in the marina, scared of the stormy waters out to sea. I urge you, however, and if you'll pardon me for stretching the naval metaphor about as far as it'll go, to cast off your anchor, unfurl your sail, and head off into the world with a sense of adventure, of bravery, of not giving a monkeys if you mess something up, but getting out there and doing stuff. Safe in the knowledge that if you face an obstacle, you'll be stronger for it. You really can achieve anything you set your mind to. You've proved it, you did it here, you graduated during a literal pan au chocolat. So, say yes to things, try new things, step out of your comfort zone, and take the challenges that await you head on. Congratulations.
I'm Karen Villamoria, the 7th Chancellor of this great university. Just do the sums. 7th Chancellor, 121 years. Some of my predecessors were Chancellors for a very long time. Anthony Eden, the former Prime Minister of the Earl of Avon, was Chancellor for 27 years. I've had 7 years, and it's been a privilege every one of those years. Thank you so much to Professor Corey Ross for your excellent speech. And thank you so much to Mikey, our Students' Union, our Guild President, for that great speech. I think huge round of applause. As Chancellor, I have quite a few duties during the year, apart from degree ceremonies, there's the annual meeting. There are some things that I do because I really want to do them, and one of them that I never miss, and I've really missed during this pandemic, is I'm the first Chancellor to every year attend the annual Guild Awards, and it's in the Great Hall, and it's just an evening of celebration and inspiration of what our amazing students do apart from their studies. Music, dancing, voluntary work, charitable work. It's just inspirational. And it's by the students and for the students. And it just shows what this phenomenal university does. And this gathering, this celebration today, we have business school graduates, we have law graduates. Well, I'm a law graduate, and I'm an alumnus of 3 business schools, so I feel at home. So, to the class of 2020 in 2021, congratulations on graduating. What a year and a half. As Mikey has said, and as Professor Corey said, that this is not normal times. You have graduated in a way, quite frankly, no one else has. The 2021 celebrations we had in July, your celebrations now. And by the way, very few universities are doing this. Most universities are doing nothing. And Birmingham always goes the extra mile. But this is very, very special. The moment we offered this, most people in your position have just missed out on their graduations altogether. It has been so popular. Just look at this, thousands of people. There are overflow areas, and we had to put on an extra day for the 2020 year. That just shows the commitment, and you hear it from Mike, you hear it from the speakers in every ceremony that we have like this. The student speakers say, these were the best times of my life. Now, this is a celebration not just for those of you who've graduated, because you've done this through your hard work. Yes, of course you have. But you couldn't have done it on your own. You've done it because of the support that you've received from your friends, from your family, from your faculty. And I tell you, if you are feeling proud and happy today, I have seen, walking around the campus today, how much this means to your parents, to your grandparents, to your relations. Their pride is probably more than yours. You've made them incredibly happy. So let's rejoice in that. So I say to the graduates, applaud your friends, your family, your teachers. Give them a huge round of applause. Now, the terms, the words that have been used, resilience. Yeah, you've had to be pretty resilient. You know, I'm the president of the Confederation of British Industry, the biggest business organization in the UK, the CBI. It's a 2-year term. I founded Cobra Beer, so I'm a glass half full person. Yeah, half my year has been in the pandemic. So all those meetings, the gatherings, the conferences, the visits around the UK and abroad, I missed out on all of them for 1 year, which my predecessors have had. Now I could be here saying, oh, damn, I've missed out, oh, you know, complain, oh, damn. No, I'm lucky. I'm lucky and fortunate to be president of the CBI at this time in history, to have made the difference that I've been able to make for business, for the economy, for universities like Birmingham that are members of the CBI. I'm lucky to have been in that position. And you are lucky to have been the pandemic graduates, the COVID graduates, because I tell you, looking back on it, this experience gives you such a strong foundation in life that others, you wouldn't ask for it, but you've been through it, and you're going to benefit from it. So make the most of everything that comes before you, and what you've had to do is adapt. What we've had to do is adapt, to put on something like this when no one else is doing it. And in building my business, which I've nearly lost 3 times, I've had a mantra, adapt or die. And many times in my journey, if I had not adapted, I would not be here speaking to you now. So have that adaptable approach. This university is highly rated in every way, and one of the areas we're right at the top when the rankings are is getting jobs. You graduated a year ago, so if you haven't already got a job, you're going to get one. I can assure you. The statistics show that very, very clearly. one of the best lectures I've ever attended in my life, in fact, I would go so far as to say the best lecture I've ever attended in my life, was given to me at a business school in America. And this was Professor Clay Christensen of Harvard Business School. And he walked into the room, and there were 200 of us, 2 sections, 6'8", giant of a man. And he said, please will you bear with me, this is the first lecture that I'm giving in a long time because I got cancer, I recovered from the cancer, and I got a stroke. And I've just recovered from the stroke. And he said, as you can see, it doesn't affect my movements, but it's affected my mind. So when I speak sometimes, I can't find the word that I want to say. So please would you help me and shout out the words in the lecture, it might save some time. You know, we had to shout out the words many times. And at the end of that lecture, he was in tears and we were in tears. And I wish I'd heard that lecture earlier in my life because his message to us was very simple. He said to us, and I say to all of you, he asked us, what is the purpose of your life? And ask each one of you, whether you're a new graduate or whether you're a parent or a grandparent, what is the purpose of your life? And linked to that, he said, how will you measure your life? There's no right answer. It's a very individual question, a very individual answer, and I urge you to think about that. And in the careers that you're going to pursue through your lives, I have another mantra. Follow your passion, not your pension. Do what you love. I love what I do. I love being Chancellor of this university. I love being President of CBI. I love being a member of the House of Lords. I love running Cobra Beer. I love all those things. And my wife says, don't ever complain to me about being too busy. It's all your choice. Yeah. So just enjoy it, love it. And Mikey mentioned courage. The Duke of Wellington, I apologize to anyone who's French over here. The Battle of Waterloo, 1815. I mean, his motto, and the current Duke sits with me in the House of Lords, his motto is, fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the brave. So you have to have that courage and to be bold. You're all going to be leaders. Mikey said that in his speech. You're all going to be leaders in one way or another. And I tell you, this pandemic has shown time and again, the true test of leadership is not in the good times, it's in adversity. And you know, another saying of mine, good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. You're going to make those mistakes. Guaranteed, you will make mistakes. Just learn from them. Grow from them. Now, the motto of this university, I mean, mottos, you know, it's all over, it's on our crest. People just look past it. Per ardua ad alta, which means through effort to greater heights. So no shortcut through those huge hard work that you're going to require to do. And then the other thing, have plans, have missions, set targets, but then remember, as Harold Macmillan, the famous Prime Minister, said, events, dear boy, events. And events happen. Events happen. No one predicted this pandemic. No one predicted what's happened in Afghanistan, the tragic situation in front of our eyes over the last few days. A month ago, no one predicted it. It's changed the world, and we've got to deal with it. So those events that are going to be coming up through your lives, through your careers, it's how you deal with them. I've nearly lost my business 3 times. 3 things have seen me through. Having a strong brand, you've got a great brand of Birmingham behind you. Having a fantastic and loyal team that has stood by my side, including my family and my wife, who I met 1 year after I started Cobra. I wouldn't be here talking to you without her support through these years. And the third thing that has enabled me to get through crises, and will get you through any crises, which I hope you've learned over here, is integrity and values. So strong brand, team and family support, and the right values, and you can get through any crisis. Now, if you were graduating from an American university, you would have received an email a year ago, the day after you graduated, asking you for money. I did, I received it. We're not so blunt over here. But do donate. As you progress through life and do very well. Mikey said engage. I say engage by putting your time, your money to this university. We've got the Birmingham in Action campaign, which is fantastic. Please engage with it. And on that note, by the way, you graduated a year ago. Here you are a year later. You will never leave. I think one of the ceremonies I said in July, this is like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. And it's true. You're forever members of the Birmingham family. 300,000 strong around the world. There are less than a handful of countries that don't have a Birmingham graduate. So wherever you go, you will have the Birmingham family, and you have this wonderful place to always, always, always come back to. So, final bits of advice before we close this ceremony. Learning. You've learned a lot. You've learned a lot about not just your subjects, but about life as you've graduated. You think your learning's finished? No. Some of you are doing PhDs. There are some wearing scarlet, the doctorates. Congratulations to all the doctors. But you know, the learning goes on through your life. So I urge you to be curious. I urge you to keep learning. I was dropping my younger son off to school when he was 17 years old. And suddenly he turned around and he said, "Dad, you've got to live as if you're going to die tomorrow." What? And he said, "Dad, you've got to learn as if you're going to live forever." I said, "Where did you get that?" I said, "Dad, Mahatma Gandhi, of course." So just keep learning and never stop learning. So finally, this is what I have to say to you. Class of 2020, you are graduating from the University of Birmingham, one of the top universities in the UK, a Russell Group university, one of the top 100 universities year after year in the world, a British university, which along with American universities are the best in the world. So be proud of it. My grandfather graduated from this university in 1931. My mother, 85-year-old mother, who I will speak to on the way back to London, graduated from this university in the 1950s. And her brother got his doctorate from this university in the 1960s. This is a generation-long thing. And the international students who are here, like me, thank you for what you do for our country, not just the 26 billion pounds you give us, but the fact that you contribute to our lives, to our experiences, and you are forever lifelong ambassadors for this great university and this great country. So a round of applause for the international students, please. So I say to you, be proud. Believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves. Because as Mahatma Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits form your character, and your character determines your destiny. What's the final thing the Chancellor can say to you? Is good luck. And the best definition of luck that I ever heard was in a business school classroom, and luck is when determination meets opportunity. And I picture it like waves going past you in life. If you're determined, you might catch one of those waves. If you're not determined, those waves will just keep going past you all your life. So be determined, be lucky, good luck, and congratulations. All the very best. I now declare this celebration, this ceremony, closed.